If you're not absolutely in love with your life right now, the problem isn't your circumstances, it's you. Let me explain. So I know that might sound kind of harsh, but one, it was a hook to get you to listen, but two, it's actually the truth. And I mean that in the best way possible. So I want you to think about something for a second. How can two people be in the same place at the same time, experience the exact same event, and get two completely different experiences from it? One person has a very positive experience from it. One person has a very negative. You could use a piece of art, for example, just as a simple example. You go into an art gallery and two people are looking at the exact same piece of art, but they get two completely different meanings from it. What's up with that? The answer is perspective, the lens that we view life through. So every experience that we have, we are filtering through our own personal lens. And our lens is made up of a lot of things. It's made up of our past. It's made up of our culture. It's made up of what we believe about life. It's made up of all these different things, just everything that makes us us. So we all have a different lens. And then when we run our experiences through that lens, we give everything a story. And that story gives meaning behind the experience that happened. And that's what we take with us. So we can have a completely different experience from someone else who experienced the same thing, but gave it a different meaning. Now, what does this mean in the context of if you're not absolutely in love with your life, the reason is you? Well, that's because you're giving things a meaning that they don't need to necessarily have. So think about it for a minute. What is one thing in your life that maybe you aren't completely happy with that's happening right now? Just give it a name, write it down on a piece of paper, or just think about it in your mind. Now, tell me the first couple things that pop in your head when you think of that. It could be your finances, it could be your job situation, it could be your family, it could be your health, whatever it is. Think about what pops into your mind when you think of that area of your life. Now, it may be good, it may be bad, it may be a little bit of both. Hopefully it's at least a little bit of both and not all bad. But the reason that you're feeling like you don't love this area of your life is because you're probably assigning more bad to good than good to it. And one of the ways to very quickly flip this is to just make a simple chart on a journal, on a piece of paper, on a napkin, whatever you have near you, and really think about it. What can I find good in this situation? And you can write out the bad stuff too. And you may come to find out actually in writing the bad stuff too, that the things that you perceive as bad maybe aren't as bad as you thought, or maybe they're not actually bad. So just take a simple piece of paper, draw a line down the center, good, bad, and I want you to write everything you think about any particular circumstance. So let's use finances for an example. So you're going to write about your finances. What are the good things about your finances? You can start with bad if you want, but good thing about your finances. Well, I do have enough money to put food on the table, right? I have enough money for my kids to do extracurricular sports or whatever you want to say. I'm able to pay my mortgage every month. I am able to afford a car and gas to put in that car. Just think of anything positive. And I want you to reach here. I want you to really stretch, because I don't want you to just give some half-ditched effort where you're not really trying that hard. I want you to really stretch and think of every possible good thing. Pretend you're writing a love letter to someone or a birthday card and you're really trying to beef this person up. So I want you to beef up whatever the experience is that you're thinking about. After you're done with that, go over to the bad side and write all the bad things. Well, I can't afford to take my family on a really nice vacation. I can't afford whatever. Look at those two sides. Now I want you to think for the bad side, is there anything you can currently do to change that situation? 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be yes. So start making lists of how you can change that situation. That doesn't mean it's going to change overnight, and it doesn't mean you can't be happy until it changes, but I want you to just start working on that, because that's part of being able to progress forward, is actually making changes where you want to make changes. But I also want you to be able to come to terms with that list. And I want you to change the meaning of the things that you have on the bad side. And I want you to look at them objectively. So look at them as if you're an outsider and it's not personally affecting you. So the fact that you can't take your family on these vacations, maybe you can't think of anything good that could come through from that. Maybe you can't think of any good meaning that you could give that. But I want you to realize that just because you can't take your family on a vacation right now doesn't mean you're not going to always be that way. Doesn't mean you're always not going to be able to take your family on a vacation. You might eventually be able to do that. We're going to talk about some strategies. I have all kinds of different things on my channel here, on my Free Moms Facebook group, Whole Mom Revolution. There's a lot of ways that you can actually change your finances, change your health, change your relationships, all these things that you can work towards. But it doesn't mean that you have to wait to be happy or content or love your life until all these things change. You need to actually change the story that you're giving to these things and work that out so that you can be okay with things not being ideal where they're at right now, because everything's constantly moving. Nothing is ever going to stay the same. Everything changes or else it gets stagnant, right? So think about how you can be okay with things where they are right now. And I want you to really start focusing on the good parts of this area, but also gratefulness, right? Because I'm sure you at least have a couple good things on your good side. And I want you to start thanking the Lord for those every single day. So just start out gratitude. You don't have to even spend more than 5 minutes on it if you feel like you don't have the time or can't make the time. But I want you to just really spend time on being super, super intentionally grateful for these things, because the Bible tells us more than once that, it tells us many times actually, that being good stewards of what we have, God is going to give us more. And being grateful is just, it's good for us all around. It's good for our health. It's good for our soul. It's good for everything. So make sure you're being grateful. But another thing I want to mention really quick is having a mindset of lack, meaning looking at the bad side and thinking like, oh, this stuff is missing. I wish I had more stuff on the good side. Or I don't have enough of this. I need more of this to be happy. That's a lack and a scarcity mindset rather than an abundance and a grateful mindset. And having a scarcity mindset is going to give you more of a negative lens to view the world. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like a repeating cycle that just goes around and around. And it's just going to continue to pull you down. And it's going to actually create more lack when you have that type of mindset. So I want you to try to really focus on the positive things and staying grateful for the positive things and trying to work on what you can change. Because if you have an area of your life that you're not happy with, you can either change it, right? And if you can't change it, why worry about it? Why fret over it? If it's literally not changeable, very few things are. Don't stress over it, just let it go. There's no sense in wasting bandwidth, wasting brain space, wasting time, wasting resources, wasting your life worrying about something that you can't change. So hopefully these tips were helpful for you. Making a list and just brain dumping and getting everything out on paper has been so helpful for me, getting my mindset shifted these past couple years. And I just pray that it's a blessing to you. If there's another mom you think this might help, please tag her in the comments or send this video over to her. Join me in my free group, Whole Mom Revolution, on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you there.